Alright, so today's video, we're watching a Gold 2 tank on PC, playing Havana. Gonna see a bit of a rotation of Winston, Ramatra, Diva, Sigma. They say, for the competitive drive event, I wanted to get better at tank and push myself to place higher than my typical silver 4-2. In this game, we started out attacking and it was off to a pretty bad start, and I can only blame myself for diving the Widow with blinders on. The Juno on our team was losing hope and said GG in match chat, thinking we'd get held at spawn for the whole game, but after she said that I had to lock in, and that's when the first tank swap happened and we started to roll them. Even after having a good defense second round, our Juno was still harshly complaining about me, leaving them to die, and I'm not sure how I could have helped more. Even after we won, she was implying I was feeding the entire game, but I don't feel like I was. All right, we'll see if they weren't helping the Juno, if you were too tunneled on, going for the snipers, the Widow. So we'll go from there, see what happens, and yeah, see how the game goes. Let's do it. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people started playing ranked during drives to get the name title thing. So you're going up against Rhine. Ooh, that's gonna feel bad. Yeah, you need to try to get up there without taking too much damage, which you haven't taken much, but just be careful of this. Dive their top right. You already been too late on the dive. Yeah, no. Okay, 1 second. In this situation, you should already be up here. There's no point to sit there and try to, like, bubble off like a Reinhardt and, like, a Bastion this close range. Like, you have the ability to dive up here and take away a lot of this high ground. Do that. They're going to turn, and your teammates will have a 4v3. That will be on your teammates to have good position. But if you give this Widow too much time, that's going to be a problem. And you did say you overdove the Widow, so maybe after seeing that start, you were like, okay, I'll wait. But I would have definitely gone up there well before this. Like, now's your time, definitely. Kind of lost track a little bit, but you should do that from the get-go. Don't give them any time. Okay, you ran back. Out. I want to point out again, don't feel obligated to run back to your team at that point if you're up here and they can't get to you. Think about this. If you're up on this high ground behind them, who's going to get you? Like, no one's going to be able to really get you at all unless they all turn around and then you jump back to your team. So don't feel obligated to go back to your team because you feel like you have to there. You're going to be fine up here for a while, and having that position is going to make it so the Widow does not have, like, a safe spot to go to. Just remember to keep that position when you have it. Good morning, good morning. Hope everything's going well there. That's tough. I like how you're Sombra solo diving the Widow now. Get up there, get up there. There you go. Although your Sombra was up there well before. I'm not really upset with that play. I think that's just a good play by their Rhine. And that was just a good play. I think that was just a good play by their Rhine. Yeah, the Winston went flying. Love to see it. Okay, here we go. Nice. Got the Widow. I mean, here's the problem so far, if you want to know. I want you to look at their team comp. I want you to look at what you're on, which is Winston. If you're not going to sit there and just keep constantly making sure you go high ground, which you've done a little bit better job towards the tail end here, then just switch off. Because you're going to get stuck doing this over and over again. And I know your supports said you weren't helping them, but, like, you really can't. There's not much you're going to be able to do to help your supports in this situation outside of maybe going Diva and trying to, like, go on the Bastion the whole time, but they're playing very static, so it's on your teammates to play proper positioning while everybody else sets up. But granted, it also is a... Like I said, every rank will play differently, so this is one of these games where, like, I can't also expect the group ups to happen the same way, so this might be a situation where you win with ults more than anything else up first. But even then, it's been a toughie. That's an ambitious ultimate. Remember, sometimes Winston's will do this, where you use your ultimate to try to escape in a situation where I don't think there's any point to use your ult there. But stay up here now. Stay up here. This is the correct play. Do not drop down. Nope. Stay up here. Just wait. No. Just stay up there. Stay up there. Stay up. Your teammates are dead. You're not going to get any value by just kind of sitting there on the cart. So just be careful of overextending the play, doing things like that. Like, you just need to wait up there, because you're going to deny so much space from the other part of their team if you stay up there. And now here's the D.Va swap, which I think is a better swap against what they're running right now. I know me, thanks for the 16 months of the tier 1. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Wow,
from different
can't
places.
believe it's been 16 years.
Yes, here we go. Nice job. Now you're on the Widow. Now you can help with the Bastion. Next time I go for their Mercy, probably, but... Ryan's gonna get you, that's fine. But good job. So I don't... I like this matchup for you now because D.Va's gonna be really good against, like, their Widow a lot of the time and also help with the Bastion. That's why I thought D.Va would be a little bit better than going Winston there. Correct play. You already knew you want it. If you're wondering what they're doing there, I mean, a lot of people know this now, but maybe if somebody's returning or new to the game, when you capture a point, if you hit your interact key, whatever you would use to take a sim teleporter, for example, it will move you to the next spawn. Can I start my winter arc yet? Like what, like winter clothes and stuff? No, not yet. I mean, it hasn't been too cold in Massachusetts right now. It's been more like 65 degrees every day, which is pretty good. Yep, correct play. Go for the Bastion. Yep. Just keep going in. Nice job. Much better now. And now you're being way more, like, active in the team fight. I like to see this. Very well played. Very well played. Oh, they missed? What were they missing on? Did I miss something? I didn't see what I missed. What were they missing on? You know, okay. I'm gonna pause here because, like, part of me is happy you got Shatter out, but, like, another part of me here when you're playing D.Va is remember that it's really hard to brawl against a Reinhardt in those type of situations, especially in a small hallway. So I want you to start to think about where you're at a disadvantage. So I would have preferred to have you see, like, you playing angles like this rather than just, like, face plant, like, around here. Like, don't try to just brawl them and play into what they're good at. Now, you got Shatter out, so, like, the flip side of that is like, oh, they got Shatter out. That's good. You don't have to worry about it for a little bit. But for me personally, at the same time, I feel like it's a bit of a misplay that we do at least need to mention, because if you do that all the time against Ryan, you're probably going to fall over. Don't go into a small, like, doorway. So now to one of the worst points against snipers. Third point, Havana. Long sight lines, impossible to be able to get Widows half the time. I do like you taking a little bit of aggression on the high ground there, though. That's nice. Nice, good play. Good job, like, using, like, teamwork there. I mean, straight up, that was teamwork. Now, there must have been communication there, because I think when you started looking at the floor, it's because you wanted to start DMing your Reaper. I'd keep map control there.
Sniper, don't get caught.
I would have kept map control. I would have played on one of these sides for as long as you can, and then get out safely, rather than sit back here. Because, like, you need to get through this choke anyway. It's going to take multiple team fights. This is one of the harder chokes to break through. Like, right here, like, a lot of time you can just AFK right here and you're just fine. I'd rather see you push up to one of the doorways. And the reason being is that because this choke is so hard to get through, you need to find any advantage you can on third point to be able to get that. Now, I could hit play here and your teammates end up just, like, rolling this point and it's no problem. But I think getting in the habit of, like, having more map control here is really, really good. Obviously, if the cart was closer like, basically my take is if the cart was closer and it was already going to go through the choke, you don't have to worry about it as much. But when you're this far back, the 3 on cart won't even matter because you're still going to have a team fight happen in a, like, not an advantageous spot. But your team could just roll here and it all works out. You're killing the Mercy. Ashton's dead in a second. Nice. Correct play, but you might get rolled. Yeah, I was going to say. One thing I want you to think about there in that situation is that they Juno ulted, right? So you're thinking, oh, I got to get out of the Juno ult. I think about survivability there for a second and then go in to the Widow because, like, otherwise you're going to fall over. But, hey, it worked out. Baby D.Va popping off. Sometimes, listen, Baby D.Va's my best hero too, Chad, okay? When you feed as hard as I do, you get a lot of practice on Baby D.Va. That's all I'm saying. So now you switch to Ramattra on defense. I don't mind Ramattra here, to be honest with you. Now we wait. That's kind of on your somber. Don't feel obligated to push up to the card there. I would say kind of play in the middle part of... Yeah, this is good. This is good. Nice pick. Yep. Saving your shield. So far, so good. It's fine. Your teammates are getting rolled a little bit early. Like, I'm okay with this. Yeah, I mean, the Nemesis form being early there, like, was... obviously not ideal, but I do that sometimes too. So I leave some things where it's like, it happens. Remember, your Vortex doesn't go through shield, so you can wait an extra 1/10 of a second there and you get a better Vortex. I don't mind you Vortex in the, or Nemesis form in the Winston. A lot of damage output. Dashes one, nice. So far, so good. Pretty good. Careful of... actually, no, I'm fine with that. I kind of actually like that shield. I was saying be careful of, like, using your shield to, like, only block off one window, but the flip side of that is that the Widow's forced to only one window, so it might be easier to, like, follow up on some kills, right? You're obsessed with the wins right now, but that's fine. And the reason being is because on this map, a lot of the team will be funneled back here, so, like, overextending deep into the back line wouldn't make much sense anyway, because, like, obviously you want to trade back lines when you can by going for the supports or, like, going for one of their DPS. But with the way that they're playing in their position, the only way that you can really do anything against them right now is deal with the Winston. Because the Winston's overextended. So it's one of those... People will always have like this way of like, oh, you always got to go backline. You always got to do this. But I think sometimes... I know not... sometimes I use like sports analogies. But like in the NFL, you'll see there'll be the teams that will just never like really make the adjustment. And you'll see the teams that take what they give them, what the defense gives them. So if a team's going to play... if a team's going to play... far back and give you, 15-yard passes, take the 15-yard passes, don't go for the long play, vice versa. So when the Winston just dives in here and is feed him to the team, there's no point to really worry about like, oh, they're too focused on the Winston because the Winston is diving so deep before this rest of this team can do anything that take what they're giving you, and that's a free kill. That's a free kill. That's how I see it. All right, let's see what happens now. Now I would go for backline after. No, wait. Now go. Go backline now. Go right side. Don't worry about Winston. This is where you don't want to worry about Winston. Yep. See, that's what I'm talking. Like, the reason why going for the Winston made sense earlier, right? Even though you might get the Winston. But even though the reason why going for the Winston was the correct play earlier was because they were diving so far ahead of their team, there was no follow-up. But the moment that their team is really close to and you see opportunity to go for kills, go trade backline, because the Winston won't be able to help you, and you saw the Bastion use their turret form, which means Bastion won't have turret form. You also have damage reduction, you pop that, then you have your ultimate too, so. That's where your target priority gets a little bit hecked up. And that's why I say, like, it's very dependent on, like, how they're playing it. Or, like, how the other team is playing it, excuse me. But, yeah, you lost first point. Funny Moments video when? Maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday morning, if we have enough codes. Unfortunately, Blizzard did a patch, like, 2 weeks ago or so that already, like, hecked up replay codes. So because they did a replay code, basically to give you a summary, whenever there is a patch that you have to download, that's like not like just like a hotfix, all the replay codes wipe. They don't work anymore. So usually we'll try to get a Funny Moments video out, but if there's not enough codes, then we can't do it. Vortexes have been decent. The right idea sometimes, I'm okay with that. We're gonna head to the beach, have a good day. What rank is this? I'll be honest with you, I'll let you know in a second. This rank is Gold 2. This is a Gold 2 tank. Okay? Gold 2. Alright, here we go. You're playing a bit lost right now. I'm gonna pause. Okay, in these type of situations, I want you to understand what's happening here. So if your team is playing close up, you don't have to worry about anybody behind here. The idea is that you're going to prevent them from going through the chokes. See? Chokes would be like small doorways. So at a certain point, don't get lost in the middle. I call, stuck in the mud, like spinning in circles. If your team's going to play up here, play up with your team. Deny the doorways, right? Even if they get behind you with a Reaper up here or a Winston, the thing is that they need to move the cart eventually anyway. So what I do in this situation is I actually like to play towards the cart and die in cart initially, or I get kills and we just win the team fight. But when you're just kind of spinning in circles and doing nothing, you end up giving them a lot of space, and it allows them to do exactly what they're doing now, which is take map control, right? So deny space, deny map control if you're playing close, but don't just like run around in the middle in circles. I do this sometimes. That's why I always say just be decisive in your play. When you become indecisive about what you're about to do, it can lead to some more inconsistency and like plays not going well. I always say this. Just do the play confidently. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But don't get stuck in like that indecisiveness of like not doing a play at all and then doing nothing. And that's where you'll definitely get rolled a lot of the time. All right, here we go. Okay, there we go. Looks like you did get the kill, which is nice. Or not a kill, I mean, looks like you did die in the cart. You should have a team fight in a second here. By the way, if you don't feel like you're going to get back in time, yeah, there you go. Remember, anybody playing Ramatra, you can hit the button again to get out of Nemesis form. So, like, if you have a wasted cooldown, like, the quicker you can get out of that wasted cooldown to get your cooldown to go back up, do it. I like this. Nice aggressive play. Win or lose, I'm okay with this play. I like it. You're not giving them time to, like, think about, like, what's going on. You just go in, and, yeah, that actually might work for you. Nice. That certainly is a Juno ultimate. Okay, never mind. That's certainly a Winston ultimate. Unless your team really hexes this up, you should be fine. Yep. I like that play. The kill feed doesn't show it, but you really set that play up for your team by just being aggressive and being decisive and proactive about your ult there. I like that. It's not going to look like amazing on the stat sheet, but it was a big part as to why you won that team fight. You created a ton of space for your team. They felt obligated to fall back. And if they wanted to run away from your Ramatra ultimate, they had to literally run into, like, the middle of the open. I'll be honest with you, that was on your team right there. You don't hear me go too often with that one, but I just watched your Junkrat run into their team, get rolled, and then your Mercy run to where they got rolled at and try to res them. That's a bit unlucky. Still winnable, but definitely made it more difficult. Yep. Like, I think sometimes it happens. And you know what? You'll do that one time, too. It'll be the opposite of that, right? You'll do that one time, too. I like how the Junkrat got the kill on Reaper with the Junkrat trap. That's my favorite. Worry about getting the good position in here, not sitting in the middle of the open. You're okay for now. This isn't okay. You could put your shield in the corner too, and it'll be a little bit more effective. I don't mind this. Go into the form and just no, indecisiveness. You just did it. You ended up wasting your Nemesis form because of that indecisiveness, and now you're back to where you started to begin with. Like, kill their backline. Use positioning. You're in the middle of the open. It's not making it easy. Go back to the choke. Go back to the choke. Go to the strong parts of the map. No, stop. Okay. A lot of your gameplay is this. And this is what's happening. A lot of your gameplay is you just run in circles. To get out of this gameplay loop, that's why I want to see you be more decisive in what you're doing. Like, just make the play you want to make. And what I mean by that is, if you want to go into the back line of their team, go into the back line of their team. If you want to push the cart, go push the cart. But don't go, oh, I'm going to push the cart. Never mind, I'm going to turn around and try to make a play. Wait, never mind, I'm going to go back here to where I started. And then you end up back at the exact same spot anyway, and then you get rolled. So it's all about decisiveness. Just make the play you want to make, and the results will be a lot better than just running in circles. Because you're not doing anything during that time you're running in circles while their team is. This is gold, yes. All right, there's a rough go with that. Here's one thing I'll say, because you mentioned your Juno was like saying like, oh, like this and that. I don't think that's really what's happening. What I will say, by the way, is I think it's more along the lines of because you're so indecisive, you're not really. You just end in these, like, you have these basically these plays where you just do nothing. And sometimes when you don't do anything during a team fight, your teammates are like, oh, what are you doing? I don't think it's like a lack of you not protecting your team, though. It's a lack of you just knowing what you want to do. So a lot of the time, your teammates just kind of see you stuck in the middle. But I don't think, like, your Juno was correct in the sense of, like, you're not, like, your Juno saying, like, oh, like, you're not saving us, etc. Like, at a certain point, it's on your supports and your DPS to also just have proper positioning. So if they're in the middle of the open and their team is diving constantly, like, it's not necessarily on the Ramatra to make that play. Like, you shouldn't... How do I explain this? If I'm a Winston and I'm diving the backline by myself and there's 4 people there, I shouldn't be able to get away with getting 2-3 kills. Like, sometimes a good Winston player will make it work, you know, with a good juggle with their ultimate or, like, a really well-timed, like, dive on a Widow. But that's going to be more on your teammates to be able to understand how to peel that correctly than it is like, oh, what are you doing? That doesn't mean you're not... It doesn't mean that you're playing it perfectly either, because we're watching you run in circles and kind of get, like, stuck. So I still think, and I'll mention at the end of the video too, but I definitely think that if we can pick up your decisiveness and just, like, commit to a play when you want to do that and be a little bit more proactive and, like, taking, like, map control, I think you'll be fine. But it's getting you out of the habit of just spinning in circles and ended up back right where you started, because that's where it happened. Is that a great green screen moment? Yeah, I don't use the green screen as much anymore. Maybe when I move to my house, I will, but right now I'm vibing. Okay, here we go. You brought? Wait for it. I actually do like Sigma here. I actually do like Sigma here. Sigma on Havana is a very strong pick. What was that, Ana position? You know, it's a gold game. Position won't be as strong. I try to recognize that. I try to... You know. That's why I say positioning's key. Raise this gold. Good hold. I mean, that was a fine hold. Little bit of the same, like, moving around, but it was a little bit better. It was a little bit better, but that was good.
Actuating the barrier.
You don't have work on Monday? There you go. I don't think Lonnie does either. No eat on Reaper. I mean, no shift. Back up if you need to. Just spam them now. Remember, you get a lot more, you get rewarded a bit more now for when you miss. You're going to build your ult charge a lot quicker if you do that. So don't be afraid to throw some just random spam into the backline. You'll get ult really fast. Nice eat. Get a little bit of overshield. Anybody new to Overwatch don't understand how that works. When you absorb damage as Sigma, you get overshield. The more damage you absorb, the more overshield you get. That's why it's always important to interrupt the eat if you can, because it will remove some of the overshield too. This is just take it slow for a second. Don't have to force anything. The other team has to play on their back foot for a long time. So you're fine. Nice pick. Yup, rock. Love to see it. I would wait out the timing on ult here. I know you're going to want to ult. Give it a second, and you can ult now if you wanted to. You can ult now if you wanted to. Perfect ult. Moira should be in that because Moira can't fade out of it. Like, you can fade, but you can't, like, get out of it. Nice play. Yup, rock. That was a decisive play, by the way, which is a good result. Looks like your keyboard broke. And that should be it. Not bad. Not bad. So here's where I'm at, because you wanted a bit of advice. I'm going to go back to what I was talking about. You just need to be more decisive in your gameplay. I think a lot of what you do wrong is you just don't want to do anything and you just sit there. So let's go be proactive. Let's go let's go and make a play when you want to make it. And the only way you're going to learn, because sometimes I talk about this, the only way you're going to learn if a play is good or bad is by making the play. The only way you're never going to learn if it's a good or bad play is by just sitting there and not making a play. That's why I'm always in the mindset of be proactive. If the play works, you're going to be like, okay, that's awesome. Then you try the play again. And if it works again, you go, okay, wait a second. All of these plays are working. This is really good. Or if it doesn't work a couple times in a row, you go, okay, what did we do wrong there? But be decisive, because that's the only way you're going to be able to consistently learn if it's a good or bad play is by actually going in and trying to make the play. So enough of the just standing around, enough of the, I'm going to run to the cart. No, wait a second. I saw a Winston jump behind me. I'm going to try to run a mile across to get them. Wait a second. I can't get to the Winston. I'm going to run back, and by then your Nemesis form is done. Do you see the problem here? You're wasting cooldowns just running around in circles. So you want to go push the cart? Go stand in front of the cart and push it, right? You want to go and help peel for the Winston? Well, peel for the Winston much sooner. To your Juno, who was saying that you weren't, and I'll just get verification on this. Your Juno, who was typing GGs and said that you weren't helping them and you all this stuff. I don't think that's the case. And I'm gonna be honest with you. You can help your supports as a tank in a lot of comps, but in a comp where they have a Winston solo diving and you also need your tank on the front line, it becomes really hard for you to peel. And truthfully, you're running Juno, which means that Juno can use speed ring to disengage pretty much any dive nowadays, and Juno's become a really hard hero to kill if the speed ring is used correctly. So I think that's more of one of those things that they were getting frustrated that they were getting rolled by the tank or something like that, and they just wanted to, it can't be on them, it's on somebody else, right? So I'm not too worried about that. Can you help your teammates a little bit more? Of course, but I think that goes hand in hand with decisiveness. You pick up on that decisiveness, I think you'll be in a really good spot. So remember, when you think about making a play, go in and make the play. You'll learn from the play if it's a good or bad play, and then you can go from there. But I think that will really help you climb, and you can definitely do it. You got this. You got this. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to all 3 YouTubes, leave a comment. All that helps. If you want to spin your own spectating, look in the description below. You see my Discord. That's where you can do that. We also record these live on stream. If you look below the webcam, you can see the Twitch chat. We also stream on YouTube, so stop by if you're having a lot of fun. With that being said, I hope you have an amazing day/night.